Hello friends and welcome to the channel. This is Stormhaven Gaming, where you can see great games played badly. I'm John and this is Timberborn. We're picking up pretty much directly from where we left off last time. I've done a few bits and pieces and I've played through to the start of the drought, which was only about 3 days. So last episode we set up the efficient mine to be constructed. Now it is going to take a while because we need to provide 450 gears, and yeah, that's going to take a long time. I have taken some advice again from the chat, and again I can't remember the name of the person who suggested it, but I will flash that up in a caption on screen. There you go. Assuming I remember to do that, obviously. They told me that pine isn't enough. Pine isn't sufficient to fuel our engines. We need more logs coming in. And pine, if we have a look down here, pine produces 2 logs in 12 days. So I've swapped up to, or I've clearing out this area here. And I'm going to put in maple there, which produces 8 logs over 30 days. And I've cleared out, or I'm in the process of clearing out this area here, and I'm also going to replace that with maple as well. And if we come over here, I've done the same here. So we're going to have some patches of maple in these 3 districts. I'll have a look at this district in a minute. So once that's planted and grown, what I'll be able to do is then start clearing out some of the older patches of pine. Keep some pine just to keep fueling the pine sap for the tappers, because that is needed for the treated planks for our wood workshop over here. Now we currently have, let's have a look, 524 pine resin, so we're not really hurting for that at the moment. But yeah, that's where we are at the moment. Okay, this is nearly done. So once this is completed, let's speed things along. As you can see, we are in a drought. It's only going to be a 7-day drought, so we should be okay. We should have plenty of water around to last us. Obviously, yeah, this is going to take a very, very long time to do, so don't expect that anytime soon. I have built another barrack building down here because we were approaching our housing limit. I'm building another one over here because we're approaching our housing limit in this district, or we are actually right at our housing limit in this district. So I have set up another barrack to be built over here. Other than that, things are... Ooh, not sure what happened there. Other than that, things are pretty much as we left them. So what I'll do is I will spin on... Oh, look at that. One tree's decided to regrow itself. I'll mark that for demolition, and we will set up our maple to plant in there as well. And then once that is removed, I will try and remember to replace it. Yes, but I will spin on until probably, or hopefully, the end of the drought. Oh, I can do the same here. There we go. I think that's every bit of that. Yes, that's good. Okay. So I will spin on through the drought, see how we do. Obviously, if anything drastic happens or anything major changes, I will come back and let you know. Otherwise, I'll come back at the end of the drought and we'll see where we're going from there. Okay, so just over 2 days into the drought, and this section here is already dried up. So we will just let some water in from this this reservoir. Speed things up a little bit. There we go. So we'll put enough in here to hopefully keep them going through the drought without draining too much out of here, is the idea. Speed things up a little bit more. There we go. Okay, that should be fine. So if we raise it, yeah. Just raise it up to 2.5 there, and that will keep that hopefully fine. I have planted up or I am in the process again of planting up the maple here. I've put in another log cutter over here. And I want to get rid of all of these trees here. And what I am going to do is I'm going to pop in an explosive there, and I'm going to do our trick of having one spot of water to fertilize a large area, just get the rest of this fertile here. But yeah, that's where we are. 3 days in now. Hopefully we'll be able to keep this fertile, but we're going to need to look at increasing the amount of water that this area holds. So what I've done... No, I don't want to do that. Come on, John, that'll do. Right, what I've done is I've put in a staircase down here and a path along, giving us access to this area, and I'm going to lay in some explosives after the drought, once we've got some being produced again, to deepen this area along here in much the same way that we did down here. That way they'll have a little bit more water each drought. But I will spin on again and come back, hopefully, again at the end of the drought and see where we are. Okay, we're nearly at the end of the drought, but we appear to be having a problem with our distribution, and I'm not sure why. So, we apparently have 3 explosives in stock. They are not in this district. They are not in this district. They are not in this district. They are in this district. Now, we did have 7. And 4 of them were in this district. So I set up a new distribution route to send them to District 4, which is this district here. As you can see, District 5 is sending explosives over here. Just in case, because there appeared to be a couple of explosives in this district as well, I set up another route to send explosives from this district also to District 4. Now, District 4's distribution post is not sending explosives anywhere else. So I don't know where they've gone. We've dropped down to just the 3 that are in this district, and the other 4 appear to have just vanished. Just disappeared. I did have explosives being set up over here, but I made sure that that was complete before I tried to send any more explosives anywhere else. So those other explosives have either been planted somewhere that I don't understand where. I haven't been able to find where. I have been checking around because I was laying explosives in over here, obviously. But yeah, they appear to have just vanished. So yeah, that's where I am at the moment, wondering where the explosives have gone. It's never a good idea to lose explosives, you know. But yeah, we are nearly at the end of the drought. I've had to release a fair amount of water from this reservoir in order to keep these 2 areas hydrated. But we're doing okay. Yeah, so apart from that, once the water comes back in and we start producing explosives again, it'll be fine. It's just a little bit worrying that we appear to have lost a bunch of explosives. But since we're here, we may as well set these off. And these down here. So literally all I'm doing here is creating a little pool of deeper water, and I'll be able to pop some water pumps on there should we need the extra intake. Obviously the water level is low enough at this point that none of our Lidos are working because it's just too shallow. But that's not a problem. They can do without fun for a 0.3 of a day. So let's speed things up and wait for the water to return. There we go, here comes the water. So that's all good. Right. Now, here I want to be continuing to deepen this area. So I will put in, if I can get the camera to a position where I can actually see what I'm doing. Yeah, let's just do it like this. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Oh, and there's the water. Okay, once that's built, we'll be able to have access to this little shelf here, and we can lay in some more explosives once we're producing them, obviously. Let's set this to the height we want it. We might as well drop those because the water isn't going to go anywhere anyway. Yeah, we've just lost the water here as well. But we'll set these to their spillway positions. And I really should just replace these levees with additional floodgates at some point, just to make it easier. Okay, so yes, the water is slowly returning. Right, now, what next? Well, once we've got the explosives coming in, we'll put this in and do that. Our maple is being planted over here. It almost has been completely planted over here, I think, if not completely. Yeah, that looks like that's entirely done. This lot is almost complete. So in, well, how are we? Maple is 18%. So yeah, in about sort of 25 days or so. So probably after the next drought will be when we get the maple coming in. Okay, so this is filled up enough. The water's coming through. Excellent stuff. We should avoid any flooding, he says, hopefully, because it has plenty of places to spill out. And we'll drop this down to 1 to start with, see how that goes. There we go. So we're starting to get some power in now, so we'll start to produce those explosives that we need. Right, I will spin on for a couple of days, and hopefully we'll have a plan of what's going to happen next. I've played on for a few more days. I have been pushing my luck a little bit with the water levels. Ended up with a little bit of flooding down here. But I needed to bring these floodgates up in order to bring the water level in here up, in order to get past this dam and actually fill this section. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to need to replace this dam with just a platform, or maybe a floodgate, or a platform and a floodgate next to it, in order to control the flow of water into there. I've got these set at 0.5 in order to keep this relatively full. I am laying in explosives up here, but obviously it's taking a while to make them and send them across. I am starting to lay in explosives up here, but again, obviously we are waiting for those to... hang on, let's have a look. Yeah, we are waiting for the explosives to come into this district so we can deepen this section, and then we can start shipping them into this district. I'm not going to deepen too much of this. I'll probably deepen up to here in the first instance, just so we've got some deeper water in this area, and then I'll shift to sending the explosives out to here, because I think it's more important to have a larger reservoir at this end. And then obviously once this is completed, which again is going to take a very, very long time, I'm thinking about putting another barrier, a floodgate barrier up here, to create a second reservoir in this area. Probably end up putting the district centre... I want to put it over here, but there is that over there. That underground ruin over there. So it might be worth putting it over here and then just having a bridge across. But it would also be worth building a levee around here in order to give us a bit more depth. because that will bring it up to the same level all around, and we'll be able to basically flood this whole area. And then, should we need to, we can put in channels to drop water into this bit to fertilise it the same way we did here. And obviously, if we're putting levees around there, it's a easy matter to pop in a floodgate and pop in a channel and send irrigation wherever we need it, basically. But we are going to consolidate what we have first and get this thing completed. As you can see, all of our maple is planted and growing. I've set up another section here, and I'm going to fill in this section as well. Where are we? With maple. There we go. Okay, and I can finish off this path. As you can see, we do have our deep water pump, our water dump here, fertilizing all this area. Which means, obviously, we can think about spreading out into this large plain here, which will be perfect for a lot of farming and logging. Just turn that into a food and wood production zone, and set up a distribution post to send it over. We have plenty of unemployed, so it would be a fairly simple operation to set up a new district at the moment. But it's where we want to move. Whether we want to come up here, which will be challenging, especially with this district being so compact at the moment. Or we could come out here, which would be much easier, and would provide a lot more resources to then start up future districts. So obviously the sensible option is to come out here. But I do want to come up here as well. I do want to build another reservoir. I will think about that. Will I do the sensible thing? I mean, it's not really in my nature, as you can probably tell from the previous episodes of this. But I will think about it, and I will come back when I've made a decision. Okay, so we're on day 11 of the this cycle. We've had no warning of drought. I took my eye off the ball for a second and have inadvertently flooded this little area here, which is problematic, because we have no way of actually draining water from here at the moment. I have made a few changes in this district, apart from flooding some of it. I've put in a lumber mill down here with a power wheel. Now, you might be thinking, well, why did you do that when you had some power up here? Well, I've put in a gear workshop. I've added in another water wheel to this little stretch here, and I've put in a gear workshop. We're not really getting as much power through here as I would like. I could potentially drop that and increase the power, but I don't want to do that, so I won't. But we are producing some gears here now, which is nice. Other than that, I have switched out some of the carrots down here for potatoes, and we have laid in the explosives for the first section here. That's pretty much the only major changes that we've made. I've not done anything over here. We're still waiting for the maple to come in. That's probably going to be a few more days yet. Yeah, it's about halfway done, so it's going to be a little while. Yeah, that's where we are. That's basically where we are. In terms of what to do here, I'm probably going to put in... I also put in a path around here to facilitate the movement of goods. I'm going to put in a water pump down here, so we can drain some of this water off. So let's have a look. Actually, we'll put it in like that. We'll continue the path along this way, and we will put in the pump facing that way around, I think. Yeah, so once that's built, we'll be able to drain some of the water out of here. So I'll speed up. Oh, okay, we may have fiddled around with things a little bit too much. We have some some minor flooding going on. Hopefully that's just a temporary thing. That was just when I fiddled around with the floodgates there. Yeah, that looks like it's okay, he says. Okay, I will spin on until things are correcting themselves. Do I need to drop these? I'll keep an eye on that. But I will spin on until something else happens. Okay, day 14, and we've just got our drought warning. So we've got 3 days until that turns up. Again, indicates it's not going to be a terribly bad drought, he says. We did have some fairly major problems with flooding in this district here, which was entirely the fault of me messing around with the floodgates. But it seems to have sorted itself out now. We don't have a lot of lumber in this district here at the moment, partly because we're sending it everywhere else, so let's stop doing that. But partly because obviously there's just no trees grown up yet. We are waiting for these chestnuts to tree. Words are hard. I think I've mentioned that. We're waiting for these chestnut trees to grow, because these are the ones we're cutting down. We're saving these for the chestnuts themselves. So we're waiting for all this maple to start growing, which is going to take, again, a little while. Over here, we are about 60% done again. So, yeah, it's going to be well after the next drought that these start coming in and being, useful and profitable. But we're still doing okay for logs at the moment. 600 in this district with the 2 engines running. Yeah, we're all right. We're doing all right. In this district, I've set up some log storage here. So we can start actually collecting some of these pine logs. We can start shipping those over to the lumber mill. The lumber mill can turn them into planks and ship those over to the gear workshop. We currently have 34 gears in this district. I've paused this for the moment, so we can actually start that up again. I am shipping explosives over to this district. I don't know why I pressed that. So we've laid in the first load. We still have 7 left, so let's set up the rest. Again, it's going to take some time to get these shipped over, but I will just basically block in everything except for this path, allowing them access to it. And once they filled all that in, I'll delete the path bit by bit so we can access the rest of it, and then we'll have all that set up to go off. Finally managed to get the water level down enough in this area here to stop things from flooding, so that was nice. Yeah, and we have these explosives to set off, so let's do that. We'll slow things down. Okay, that will no doubt cause flooding somewhere, but that will give us just a little bit more water during the drought. And obviously we will be spreading this along here once we have the explosives free. I do need to bring that up to half height, otherwise I don't think this Lido is going to work, but once this is filled and everything flows through, we can see that. And hopefully having that at half height doesn't cause flooding. Let's speed things up. Okay, it's flowing through. It's rising a little bit here. Yeah, here we go. Burst banks. Oh, no, we might have got away with that. Okay, well, that looks okay, he says, just waiting. No, we got floods. Okay, so that needs to be down at 0 in order to prevent flooding up here. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. I will spin on until the start of the drought, just to let us know how long it's going to be, and we'll see what's going to happen, and then hopefully we'll have an explosion to end the episode as usual. Okay, so the drought has started. We're looking at a 6-day drought this time, so let's shut everything off. Close it all up. And close these up as well. Okay, there we go. 6 days. Yeah, 6 days should be easily doable. Easily doable. Although we don't really have enough water in this section already. Let's just allow a little bit more in. Just to kind of top us up until before the drought starts properly. Come on. Let's have some water in here, please. There we go. That should be plenty, he says. Right. And we will see how we do. I've unpaused this. We're up to nearly enough treated planks and, you know, less than quarter of the way through the gears. But that's fine. We'll deal with that when that arrives. Other than that, we are plodding along. So I will spin through the drought unless something drastic happens, and then we will stop and address it. But failing that, I will spin through to the end of the drought and see where we are and what we can do. I still haven't made a decision about the new district, so make of that what you will. Okay, the drought is over, and as you can see, we have completely run out of water in our reservoir. But this section and this section are still well hydrated. So, and because obviously we have this lake here, everything else in this area is pretty much fine. We've lost a few trees down here, but that doesn't really matter. But I have made a decision in terms of the new district. What I have decided to do is build a reservoir up here. So I have... Come on, let's get this lumberjack built, please. I have set in a lumberjack here to clear some of these trees out, and I've set up the floodgates and the platforms behind to create this reservoir here. Once that is done, and obviously we have this filled just up to this level here, I will then move on and create a new district down here. I think that's the best bet. I'm not sure, but I think that's the best bet. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Definitely. So I will spin on for a couple of more days. I will spin on until this floodgate here is completed. And hopefully by then we'll also have these explosives laid in. And then I'll come back and we'll end the episode on that. Okay, our second reservoir is complete and full. We've got these set at 2.5, so that keeps everything nicely settled there. Yeah, excellent stuff. Okay, we have had some minor issues with flooding because I have been fiddling with the floodgate settings in order to try and prevent flooding and maximise power output and flow through and things like that. What I've done at the moment is I've actually desynchronized this floodgate and closed it completely. The rest are fully open, but that's allowing this to stay operative, because when this was open, too much water was as you can see, needing deeper water to function. I'm assuming that's because we've just finished this floodgate, and that's sort of equalizing the levels a bit is taking some time. I don't know if I should bring the rest of these up or whether that will cut off too much water. Yeah. Well, it's a complicated kind of maths thing, and as I've said before and proven before, My brain doesn't work that way. Just fill these in with some more potatoes. Not quite finished laying in these explosives yet. Obviously it's taking a little bit of time. Just, yeah, a little bit more flooding there. Okay, I think that's mostly settled out. Possibly. It's going to require more fiddling, I think, but I think I've got the settings where we need them. So these are at 2.5. These are at 2.5. These are all at 0 except for the end one, which is closed off. These are set at 1.5 just to act as the spillway. These are set at 1 to create enough flow through to stop flooding. I have replaced this dam over here with a floodgate, which is currently at half. I might as well drop that completely for the moment. Hopefully that won't mess things up. Still getting a little bit of flooding up here. Hopefully that will be it. No, a little bit of flooding down here as well. I can live with that. After the next drought and after the next rush of water as it returns, we'll see what happens with the flooding with these settings, and hopefully they'll be all right. But I will spin on until those explosives are laid in, and then we can end the episode there. It's been a little bit of a longer one, obviously. That's because I've been away for a few days, celebrating Christmas 2.0 with my family and my better half, because she was ill over actual Christmas, and we were unable to go down and see my family. But it was very nice. We got to spend a few days with my parents and their pets, the dog especially, who is adorable. He's called Marty, and he's wonderful. Yeah, I will spin on until we've got those explosives laid in. Right, we haven't quite got all these explosives laid in yet. If we have a look, we have a couple missing, but we have a drought due in the morning, so I need to set these off before. Let's pause things. I need to set these off before the drought hits. So I'm going to do that in a second. But first of all, we have had some problems with flooding, obviously because we have now interrupted the flow. This is coming in sort of fits and starts. It's not too bad because when it does flood, it basically just drains into this overflow lake here anyway, which is absolutely fine. It has caused a few ebb and flow problems here. I am having serious problems with this Lido. I've got this floodgate set to half height, the rest set to 0, this one set to closed, to try and get enough water in here to keep this functional, and it's not working. So what I'm going to try is this. I'm building a little block basically of levees and a water dump and a Lido, and hopefully that will keep this filled up to the right level, he says, and they'll be able to use that. We'll see how that goes. But thanks for joining us. Thank you very much for sticking with us, especially through this longer episode. Please do give the episode a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed it and you would like to see more. I mean, if you made it this far, you might as well give it a like, if nothing else, eh? But please join us next time. It won't be as long before the next episode. And before we go, let's set these off. So thanks very much. Until next time, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and bye-bye.